In this video, I'd like to show you how to create a cumulative frequency graph, better known as an ogive. And I know a lot of you want to say, Ogive. Yeah, no, it's ogive, like we be jiving. It's kind of fun. All right, so to do an ogive, better known as a cumulative frequency graph, we need first to create a CF column, or cumulative frequency. Okay, so using your frequencies at the end of this first class, we've accumulated 2 data points in our data set. In the second interval, we have 8 more data points, so at this point we have a total of 10 data points. Okay, adding again, we're up here to 28. Add again, 41, and 7, 48, 49, and 50. Okay, so we have 50 data points represented here. If we want to check our work, we can total up this frequency column and find the total of the frequency is 50. They match. Things look like they're going in the right direction for us. Okay, so to go through our ogive, we have to figure out how to scale the y-axis. So we're going to make our graph by using boundaries and the corresponding cumulative frequency. Okay, so I went ahead before you all arrived and created our boundaries on the x-axis. I put a spot at the beginning and an extra mark on the end just to give us some room. I also used a broken mark here to tell everybody, hey, we're not starting over here at 0. We are scooting over. 99.5 is where we're starting out. Now, probably most important now is to do a little planning. Your CF column goes up as high as 50. That's what we have to be sure to scale your y-axis to. So for our example here, maybe we want to count by 5s, make this user-friendly for all. So I'm just going to scale this y-axis. (40, 45, and 50, and over here is our frequency. Okay, and like a frequency polygon, this again is going to be a segment and dot graph. Okay, and we're going to represent by the end of each class how many data points have we experienced or accumulated. Okay, so when we start out over here at 99.5, okay, at the very beginning of the first interval, at that point in time, we have nothing. Okay, so this graph is going to anchor at this beginning of the first interval, 99.5. We have no data points. Okay, by the end of this first interval, we now have 2 data points. So we're going to go up 104. At this spot, we're going to go up 2. Okay, so we are plotting this CF column. Okay, that's what we're plotting. Okay, by the end of the second interval at 109.5, now we have 10 data points. So we're going to go up to 10. We're going to put another point. And I'm just marking them with little asterisks just to make it easier for you to see on the video. Okay, so we're going to come on over here to 114.5. So we're at this third interval. We're going to go up as high as 28. So 114. Okay, and again, we're estimating, my scale might be a little large, but I think it'll serve what we need here. So 119.5, we're going to go up as high as 41. Okay, so we're here. 124.5, we're at 48. Okay, looks like the bell schedule might get in my way here. Next up, 49, and our last entry is going to be up here at 50. Okay, then from there you just connect your points, trying hard to keep straight segments so it doesn't look too curved. Okay, and that's what our ogive is going to look like. It's going to just stay up high like this. It will not come back down. Okay, it could be level or look like a constant part of the graph. It could be flat, but nowhere in this segment will it come down. Okay, because if you're accumulating, you're going to either add numbers and make them bigger, or if it's a 0 frequency, it would stay flat. Okay, so nowhere will this ever come down. Okay, so that's our ogive. So what could somebody use this for? Well, I could look at this graph and I could say something to you like, how many, this particular data has to do with high temperatures. I could say something like, how many high temps are below 114.5 degrees. Okay, so how many temperatures are smaller than 114.5 degrees? Okay, so we come over here, we go up to this point right here, read back to the left. Okay, maybe that wasn't a very straight line, it should be up a little higher, but this should be right in here at 28. So you could say, hey, there's 28 temperatures that were below 114.5 degrees. Okay, so we could answer questions like that. Okay, now another thing that's kind of cool, if I give you the same data, which if you've watched any of my videos, you may have noticed that for histogram, frequency, polygon, I've actually used the same data set just in different sections. So if I were to ask you to do all three of these graphs on one grid, I would always start with an ogive first because it forces you to make your y-axis tall enough to contain the frequencies that you would need for a histogram or a frequency polygon. Okay? If you don't need to know anything about histograms or frequency polygons, you might want to end the video now, but I want to show you that on this ogive, we could add the other two graphs. Okay? For example, if I wanted to now plot on here a histogram is going to use this frequency column. So in this first area, we would go up as high as 2. Okay, in the next section, we go up to 8 on the next interval. Okay, next one, we're going to go on up here to 18. Okay, and then the next one, drop down a little bit to 13. Then we go to a 7, and then a 1 and a 1. Okay, so there's your histogram with an ogive on the same particular graph. Okay, and then lastly, if I want to add frequency polygon into it, we could go back in here and mark on the midpoints, which are actually just the midpoints or the centers of your columns with points. I'll dash this again, just, okay, and remember, with that frequency polygon, you gotta shut the front door and the back door. Okay, so this picture would represent all three of our graphs. We would have an ogive. In the blue, I put a histogram, and then in the black part with the dashed is a frequency polygon. Okay, so if you're ever asked to do all three, okay, on one graph, that's what it would look like. And again, hopefully I would give you some data so you could have a nice title up here. Be sure you label your X and your Y axis accordingly. Okay, I hope that was helpful, and that's been our video on ogives. Have a great day.